Who are the biggest, baddest teams on War Offense right now in Marvel Strike Force? Well, we are counting down the top 5 plus some honorable mentions. So without further ado, guys, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. I hope you are doing well in these social isolation times and staying at home and all that stuff. But one of the most popular videos on this channel has been my top 10 teams in Marvel Strike Force. Did one for fall, did one for winter. We are in spring now, which means that next video is coming very, very soon. But before I did that video, wanted to talk about breaking down these teams in certain game modes. And in this video, we are talking about the top 5 teams in War Offense right now, plus a few honorable mentions. So let's just get to the list.
Number 5.
Coming in at number 5 are these guys right here, the Power Armor team, guys. And this was the first team in Marvel Strike Force that we saw some characters with some bonuses to the overall game mode of War in War Machine and Rescue. And it's like their turn order, their kits were specifically designed for War. Rescue normally opens with barrier to the entire team. Vision has defense up on his spawn, so all of these guys are getting protected and they work so well. Huge AoE attacks from War Machine, Iron Man, Falcon, and Vision kind of does a AoE attack as well. And when Ironheart, this girl, comes to the game, she's going to be replacing Vision, and these guys are going to be bumping up a few spots because she will make this team capable of countering that big, bad Hydra War defense team with her extra focus, giving defense down to Red Skull. I know it doesn't make sense, but yeah, once he has defense down, he will take damage even if he has those minions on the field. So this team is going to be bumped up a few notches once she comes to the game. But as they stand now, still a very, very strong team and capable of some very huge punch-ups against some of these non-meta teams, especially Defenders and Wakandans. And they also do very good against that BKT team as well. I also like these guys as hard counters to an Ultron team. Now, Ultron, I know a lot of people are shifting him from War Defense to War Offense, but if you still see Ultron on War Defense, especially a boosted Ultron, because of the way Falcon's special works, giving that speed when a character has buff, well, yeah, they're gonna get a lot of speed and very hard counter to that Ultron team, especially with those deflects on the team. So very, very good team. They're also capable of punching up against one of the meta teams, the Marauders, and they can take out some of those pesky Captain Marvel teams as well. So very, very good team. I like this team. One of my favorite teams in War mode, and one of my favorite teams in Blitz as well, guys.
Number 4.
All right, and coming in at number 4, very fitting, is this team, the Fantastic Four plus Namor. He's kind of in that squad as well. Now, this was the very first team to be designed specifically for War Offense in Marvel Strike Force. Now, the Fantastic Four, these 4 members right here, they work very good in other game modes as well. They have some nice passives that increase damage, armor, resistance, all that stuff on this whole team in other game modes. But what really takes them to that next level for War Offense is this guy, Namor. And he has a very good ultimate for that game mode. But I want to talk about his passive right here, because this is what I think brings that team up a few notches just for specifically for War Offense. So what he's going to do, if you invest that T4 into him, War Offense, he's going to apply offense up and deflect to all Fantastic Four allies. So without that T4, it's only going to be 3 random Fantastic Four allies and self. And same thing with that deflects. And what he's also going to do, extra 10% damage, and that is in addition to that 20% with that level 4 of his passive. So 30% total if you put that T4 in him. And yeah, very, very good team. Now, who can this team counter right now? Well, they pretty much can take out all the meta teams. Now, they're not able to punch up against all the meta teams. They need a pretty significant punch down against Hydra. They can take out the Asgardians if you're punching down, and they could have some pretty big punch ups if you're willing to do a double shot to them. So if you take in a sacrifice team to eat up that Loki special and that Hela ult, you could have some pretty good punch-ups with the Fantastic Four team if you're willing to do a sacrifice team first. Coulson, Fury, Shield, they kind of have a 50% win ratio unless you are punching down, and they do pretty good against the Marauders as well. So very, very solid team, and I think they're very fitting of that number 4 spot, guys.
Number 3.
All right, and coming in at number 3, guys, we are starting to get to some meta countering teams with Ultron. Now, this is a hybrid team. Like I said when I was talking about power armor, a lot of people are starting to shift Ultron off of war defense or start to use him on war offense just to counter some of these meta war defense teams. And this team is capable of taking out all of these war offense teams, or war defense teams, excuse me, with that Ultron combo. Now, the combo I like, unfortunately, does not include a monstrosity. It includes Ultron, Scientist Supreme, Assaulter, Graviton, and Aim Security. And you got debuffs going all around. You got debuffs being flipped with Scientist Supreme. You've got some extra damage for the minions with Graviton to Aim minions, not the Ultron minions. And then you got Ultron, which is one of the best characters in the game. So capable of taking out Hydra. Now, you won't be able to punch up too much against Hydra, but I have seen some Ultron teams beating Hydra. Of course, you can beat the Asgardians with a slight punch up as well with this Ultron team. Yes, they can take out that Coulson, Fury, Shield team and the Marauders. So capable of taking out every single one of the meta teams and any non-meta teams as well. So very, very strong team. And with a team this strong, the top 2 have to be pretty strong. So let's see who they are.
Number 2.
All right, and coming in at number 2 is the X-Men. And I don't think it was any surprise to anybody that this team would fall somewhere at the top of this list, especially with my girl right here, Phoenix, one of the best characters in the game. And this team is capable of some huge punch-ups, especially against some of the non-meta war defense teams. And very, very good, mainly because of her right here. Phoenix, when she dies, she turns into Dark Phoenix, and that huge ult of hers just taking out the whole field. Now, there are some problems that you can run into when you face the meta teams. They have a pretty easy time with that Fury, Coulson, Shield team. Same thing with the Marauders, but the Asgardians can be a little tricky, but they are still capable of punching up against the Asgardians. Not so much against Hydra. Again, you're gonna have to punch down with this team a little, and you're gonna have to use that Cyclops version of that team because you need some AoEs. You need to split up the AoEs from Dark Phoenix, you need to split up the AoE from Storm, and you need to split up the big AoE attack from Cyclops as well. So splitting up will allow you to take out multiple waves of that Hydra team. But because there are some other counters to Hydra, I probably wouldn't recommend this team against Hydra because they're capable of, like I said, some big punch-ups against some other teams. Now, normally what I'm doing, I'm taking Psylocke out of this team, using her on my Hero Brawlers team. But in certain matchups, especially if you're going against a team that puts a lot of debuffs on you, Psylocke might be the preferred version for you, and using Cyclops on another team, or maybe even Storm on another team. So few different versions of this team that you could run, but all of them are centered around Phoenix and that Dark Phoenix form, and a very, very good team. I don't know what else I could say about him that hasn't already been said. One of the best teams in the game, guys.
Number 1.
Oh, and coming in at number 1, I don't think it's any surprise that this Inhumans team is the number 1 team on war offense in the game right now. They have so much synergy, and these 2 members right here, Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, pretty much make that team. Black Bolt with some huge offense, and if a character dies, cannot be revived, which is why they're the only team that is consistently punching up against that scary Hydra war defense team. It is because of this guy, Black Bolt. We also got Yo-Yo on here with her passive, capable of offensing, downing everybody. So interesting way to protect the team. Quake has a big AoE. Crystal has an AoE, couple different AoEs on her, and her passive gives them a little extra health when they go below 50% health. Karnak is capable of that disrupted and taking off taunts off of enemies. Very, very good team overall. AoE after AoE from this team. I don't think there's any problems with war defense teams when you're using the Inhumans. They are capable of taking out Hydra, like I said, also capable of taking out the Asgardians. Shield, Fury, Coulson, not a problem with the Inhumans, and the Marauders, yeah, they don't even stand a chance when you're using the Inhumans. So big punch-ups, and this is the best team in the game. Hopefully, if you don't have Black Bolt, you will get him on this second iteration, which should be coming at the end of this month. But yes, if you don't already have them and you are capable of investing in this team, make sure that you get these guys. Now, hopefully Yo-Yo, Crystal, Karnak will be farmable at some point so that you guys can build them, because they are very, very good on war offense. All right, and time for honorable mentions, guys. And the first team I want to mention is this one right here, the Supernatural team. Now, this team is capable of taking out some of the meta teams right here. They're capable of taking out that Coulson Fury Shield team, as Guardians as well. You'll see them take out Sinister Six with ease. Same thing with the Wakandans. Very, very good. And just the turn order, what I really think holds them back right now in the game is these two guys right now. Ghost Rider, Elsa Bloodstone, they really lack that farmability. They're not farmable in the game right now. But as soon as these guys become farmable, I think you'll see a lot of people starting to build up these teams and may even start to rise up into that top 5. So yes, well, Supernatural, very, very good team. If you don't have them built, I would start working on them as much as possible, because they are capable of taking out some pretty good teams in war. Okay, next honorable mention team that I want to talk about that is probably my favorite team to use right now is this Brotherhood 2.0 team with Toad, with Blob. Sabretooth and Mystique are on the Marauders team, and since they got moved, this team has been kind of an interesting place. They were one of the top teams in the game until that Coulson Shield team came out, and then they kind of struggled against Coulson Fury Shield. But with Toad, Blob, and the way their kits were designed, slight reworks to some of these characters as well, their turn order works perfectly in taking out that Coulson Fury Shield team. They're also very good for taking out a Brotherhood team or any other team without a Dispeller on them. Yeah, you can work some magic with this Brotherhood team, and like I said, one of my favorite teams to use in the game right now. So they definitely deserve a mention. One of the better teams on war offense in the game, guys. All right, and the last team that I think deserves a big mention here is the Spiderverse team, guys. Venom, Carnage, Symbiote, Spider-Man, just those three capable of some pretty big punch-ups, even without Spider-Man and Miles, but very, very good team. And I think, like these other two honorable mention teams, what really holds them back is a lack of farmability of one of their key members, Symbiote, Spider-Man. No real way to get shards for him. His milestone event is not even here. Should be out next week, though, but he needs to be a lot stronger, and I think a lot more people will be using him a lot more. And very good in the Gamma Raids, very good in Dark Dimension 3 as well. So yes, build this team if you can, but yeah, this guy is what's going to really be holding you back. Capable of some taking out the Asgardians as well. They're capable of taking out a Supernatural team if someone is placing that team on defense, and a lot of other teams. They do very, very well in war offense. But again, what really holds them back is the low gold star availability of Symbiote Spider-Man. But yeah, very, very good team. And I do think that they deserve a mention because of the counters that they have against some of these war defense teams. All right, guys, so those are my top 5 teams for war offense, plus some honorable mentions. Do you agree with the list? Do you not agree with the list? Let me know either way in the comments, guys. Maybe you agree with the top 5 but think they should be in a different order. Maybe you think some of the honorable mentions or some other teams should be in that top 5. Let me know. I know everybody has different experiences based on how long they've been playing the game and what their alliance is doing. So I do want to hear from you guys. I also want to give a big shout out to my brother El Presidente for discussing this list with me. And if you are not familiar with him, he is pretty much the only person that I've seen making infographics for war right now. So if you check out one of his infographics, give him a big shout out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. And I do have at least 4 videos per week on Marvel Strike Force, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash on that notification bell so you can get notified every time I put up a new video. Check me out on social media and check out some of the links down below if you want to support the channel even more than just watching some of the ads, guys. BlueStacks is great. Valley merch, there's a sale going on pretty much all the time. I don't know. They decide on that stuff at TeePublic. So that is it, guys. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this and give me a big horse fix bump before you go. ValleyFlyin out.